The Legend of Raven. Chapter 1. Raven looked out on the plains, his eyes filled with shadow and regrets. He thought about his painful childhood, but it didn't matter now. Nothing mattered now. The only thing that mattered now was getting home to his beautiful wife, Ilyana, who loved Raven more than anything on this world. Raven walked across the windy plains, his beautiful, perfect hair fluttering in the wind, making him look like a member of boy band, but much cooler looking. He gripped his sword across the hilts and talked to himself. I will get home to my wife. Nothing will stop me. Not even you. He turned around, and there he was, his arch-nemesis and rival, Ephraim, holding his spear in hand. Impressive of you to notice me from this distance, Ephraim said, and I was even trying to mask my presence. Ha, Raven answered. I could hear you breathing from miles away. Today is the day you died. Ephraim screamed. He held up his spear, pointing it directly at Raven. You will never beat me, Ephraim, Raven answered, and Ilyana will never be yours. Ephraim charged and charged. This battle was over in an instant. Raven masterfully dodged his spear and stroked him with his blade just above his hair, almost cutting it off, but not quite. He had full control. Ephraim was stunned by his mastery. Raven was way beyond him at this point. Surrender or die, Raven said, his hair blowing in the wind, his eyes full of darkness. It will be back, Ephraim said and runned. Until next time, Raven said, his eyes gleaming with shadow. Raven already forgot about Ephraim because he was about to come home to his beautiful wife Ilyana, who had made chicken, whom she had almost eaten by the time he got through the door. Hey wife, leave some food for your husband, Raven chuckled and kissed her gently. My beautiful husband Raven, Ilyana sighed. I've cooked enough food for 10, though I'm almost done eating 8 of them. The amount of food you can eat is so impressive, Raven said. And yet you are so slender and beautiful. I must stay pretty for my husband. Ilyana smiled and winked. You will always be pretty in my eyes, Raven said and kissed her. They kissed and ate chicken. Raven woke up in bed next to his wife and smiled. He thought about the battle the day before. What was his rival up to? He decided he must go check. He strapped his sword on his back and walked out the door. Today was a beautiful day on the plains, but the wind was howling. Raven could hear wolves in the distance, but it did not matter. He walked for hours and hours over the beautiful plains, wind blowing in his hair, darkness gleaming in his eyes, his beautiful wife Ilyana always on his mind, and her delicious chicken. Suddenly, Raven sensed a presence nearby. He turned around, and there was Wrath on top of his horse, his bow strung. Go ahead, shoot, Raven said. See if you could hit me. I am not here to hit you, Wrath laughed. I am only here to delay you. Delay me? Raven said. From what? Wrath only smiled. Then Raven realized his wife. He had to get home. No one stands between me and my wife, Raven said and charged. Wrath shot his bow, but his arrow was not fast enough to hit Raven. Raven merely leapt over his horse and somersaulted on the other side.
Kid.
You're still years away from being able to fight me, Raven said and smiled. I have done my job, Wrath said. You are already too late. Raven ran as fast as he could across the plains to get home to his wife, but his worst nightmare had already came true. There on the table was only a chicken, but no Ilyana. His wife had been kidnapped. Ephraim! This had to be your plan, Raven said. But you have made a mistake. No one kidnaps my wife. Raven strapped his sword across his back and put on his boots and packed his bag. He would go rescue his wife. He would have to go to Castle Renee. Much later, Raven arrived in the village of Seraphew. He could see soldiers patrolling the walls. He could fight his way through them, but he had to be smart. "Hold," one soldier said. "What brings you to our village of Seraphew?" "Merely a traveler passing by," Raven said, hugging his cloak about him. "You look a bit suspicious," another guard said. "I'm not sure if we can let you through." "Then so be it," Raven said and drew his sword. "Come!" The soldiers didn't even know what had happened before Raven was up on the walls, his swords swinging through the wind and cleaving their lances in half before they could even point at him. "I'm in a bad mood," Raven said. "I have no desire to kill you." The soldiers were clearly scared. "Please, don't kill us." "Only if you tell me where Ephraim lives," said Raven. "Ephraim?" the soldier said, scared. "He lives in Castle Renee." "Then that's where I must go," Raven proclaimed. He was almost through the town when he stopped at a tavern to have an ale. He was thirsty. The tavern maid was beautiful. She reminded him of his wife Ilyana, but of course she was even more beautiful, and could probably eat 10 times as many chicken. As he was finishing his ale, he noticed 2 shadowy figures staring at him from behind. "Who are you then?" Raven whispered, sensing evil. 2 more people looking to die? "You won't lay a finger on our lord," said one of the figures. "Meet us outside." "Gladly," Raven responded, shadow gleaming in his eye. He strapped his sword on his back and walked out. Outside, he noticed that the 2 figures were now mounted and wielding lances. "You have made a grave mistake coming here," one of them said. "I am Kyle, Knight of Renee, and this is my friend Ford. We are both knights in service to Ephraim, and you will take no steps further." "You think the 2 of you are enough to beat me?" Raven said, his hair blowing in the wind, his blade gleaming in his hand. "Come on, you are 1 man on foot with a sword, and we are 2 knights with lances. Surely you know you have lost." "So come then," Raven said, smiling, his eye gleaming once again in the sun. The 2 knights charged at him simultaneously, their lances aiming for his heart. But that's exactly what Raven expected. He sidestepped in the final moments, and his blade swinging through the air, cutting it like a cleaver, hitting both knights with 1 blow. What happened?" Kyle said, surprised. "I didn't even see his sword." "He's too fast," Ford said. "Too strong." "This is for my wife," Raven said, and cut their throats. He strapped his sword behind his back and pulled his cloak about him as he walked out of the town. "I will get you, Ephraim," he whispered to himself as wind blew his hair back. Then he stopped. "Who's there? Another person wanting to die?" "No," he heard from behind a tree. "I want to join you." "I walk alone," Raven said. "I need no friends." "But you must allow me to come with you. I have business in Renee." "I don't care," Raven said. "Your business is not my business." "I know we used to be enemies, but now we are friends," the voice said. "Wait, I recognize your voice. It's you," Raven said. Hector stepped in front. "Let me help you like you once helped me." "I want nothing to do with you," said Raven. "You killed my family." "And you once tried killing me, remember?" Hector smirked. "I guess that's true." "Let me come with you. I have always been impressed with your skill. Let me learn from you," Hector pleaded. "All right," Raven said. "But remember, This time around, I lead, and you follow. I would have it no other way, Hector responded. And so the two of them walked out of the town of Seraphim and towards Castle Renee. Raven would rescue his wife, alongside his companion, Hector. Dear God, what have I stumbled upon? To be continued.